up in the news tonight, policymakers call for a safe environment for children to prevent child exploitation.
And rocket attack on a UN peacekeepers base in northern Mali leaves 3 dead. Coming to you live from Broadcasting House in Accra, this is News Hour on GBC24, the all-news channel, and on Ghana Television. I'm Conrad Kakraba.
Many thanks for joining us. I'm Selike Makola Chiapalo. Also here with us to give us a sign language translation of this news bulletin is Robert Frimpong Manso. Conrad?
Policymakers have urged the media to pay more attention to cases of child abuse and exploitation within local communities in the country.
The experts say this will make the communities child-friendly and rapidly respond positively to issues confronting children, such as child marriages, truancy, and child labor.
This was during an interaction between children and policymakers at a PAM in the Gomua West district of the Central Region.
The implementation of a 3-year capacity building and advocacy project titled Promoting Enhanced Safe and Protective Environment for Children, PESPEG, is funded by the European Union and implemented by International Needs Ghana and NGO. The fundamental objective of the project is to ensure a safe environment for children. This can be done by swiftly responding to the abuse and exploitation of children at the community level. 21 communities within the Gomua East and West districts and the Efutu Municipal Assembly, all in the central region of Ghana, have benefited from the project. International Needs Ghana provided a platform for children in these selected communities to voice their problems to policymakers. Problems identified include teenage pregnancy, child labor, lack of electricity and libraries, and the influx of gaming centers in the communities, which affect the academic progress of the children. After an interactive session with the children, the experts promised to help them access scholarship schemes and also institute laws that will forbid children from loitering at night. The officials also advised parents to pay more attention to their children to prevent them from engaging in social vices. They as well encouraged parents and children to report any form of child abuse to Social Welfare Department. The media was also urged to create awareness about the situation of child abuse and exploitation within the participating communities. A program officer at the International Needs Ghana, Nana Boatia Pinting, threw more light on the project.
It is very important for children to meet policymakers so that they will hear from the policymakers issues that bother them in their communities, and then they will get responses from these policymakers and then hold them to it so that they will provide these resolve these issues that affect them in their communities.
Community child protection committees are expected to be established after the project has been fully implemented in 2016.
2014-2015 year under review of GBC's Broadcasting Employees Cooperative Credit Union BECU recorded a significant rise in membership shares and total assets. BECU's total assets reached 11% as against the credit union CUA's 5% standard. Its membership savings also hit a record high of 82.5% as against the CUA's 80% standard. This came up at BECU's annual general meeting in Accra.
Established in 1974, the Broadcasting Employees Cooperative Credit Union, BECU, continues to fulfill its core mandate of supporting its members in times of need. The annual general meeting was to review the association's performance for the year 2014 and 2015 and strategize for the coming year. With a total membership of 1,325, BECU's assets at the end of the 2015 financial year increased from 2,882,637.34 Ghana cedis to 3,092,285.45 Ghana cedis. Cash inflow for the union also increased significantly. The association has also expanded its frontiers to real estates to help ease the issue of accommodation faced by employees. The assistant supervisor for the Credit Union Association, Mr. Johnson Wotu, commended BECU for its achievement.
BECU scored 82.5% on member savings as against 80% of the standard. Probably my area of concern would be the need to revise your income-generating activities and to find avenues to collect your loans, which had a delinquency rate of 10.31%.
The chairman of BECU, Mr. Michael Alute, encouraged the staff of GBC who are not members of BECU to register. The Broadcasting Employees Cooperative Credit Union is also open to the public.
The rector of the Ghana Institute of Journalism, GIJ, Dr. Wilberforce Gisa, has urged media practitioners, particularly journalists, to help build in the country a democratic culture based on tolerance, trust, and respect for one another. Dr. Wilberforce Gisa was addressing the 9th congregation of the Ghana Institute of Journalism here in Accra.
The Ghana Institute of Journalism, GIJ, has over the past 5 decades turned out professional journalists for both the electronic and print media, as well as public relations managers for the communication field. The institute is currently taking steps to introduce human resource development courses. The Ghana Institute of Journalism has increased the student intake by 300% after obtaining the status to operate as an autonomous public university to run degree and master's programs in communication studies in 2009. Currently, GIJ has a total enrollment of 3,232 pursuing courses at the diploma, first degree and master's levels. 519 graduated this year, with 135 obtaining diploma and 384 receiving Bachelor of Arts degree. The chairman of the Institute of Journalism Council, Mr. Befia Penting, who is also a former Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC, said the institute does not have lodging facilities for students who live far apart from the campus. They said management of the institute is ready to partner private companies to construct student hostels.
One of the major problems facing the institute is the lack of residential accommodation for our students. The management has provided some proposals for a private-public partnership arrangement to help address the issue. As a council, we shall continue to support the efforts of the rector and his staff on all their positive endeavors.
The rector of the institute, Dr. Wilberforce Gisa, encouraged journalists in the country to uphold the ethics of the profession in the discharge of their duties.
As a university which trains media professionals, we are concerned about standards and the quality of journalism in this country. After over 2 decades of multi-party democracy in Ghana, we feel the time is ripe to consolidate the gains of our democracy. Our discourse, especially in the media, should therefore be devoid of hatred, personal attacks, and acrimony. The media should contribute to the building of a new democratic culture based on tolerance, trust, and respect for one another.
The Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Mr. Neelante Vanderpoy, advised the graduating class not to relent in their efforts to achieve greater heights in life. 2 students obtained first-class honors. Students who excelled in certain areas also received special awards. At the diploma level, Na Adukwe Jacqueline Akwe was awarded the overall Best Journalism Student. Blessed Harriet Kudanu grabbed the overall Best Journalism Student at the degree level. Overall Best Student in Public Relations for the regular course went to Elena Date, while the overall Best Student in Public Relations for the top-up category went to Dazi Nanakojo Mensah.
32 students who went through a course in broadcasting techniques at the GBC Broadcasting College have graduated. They went through 8 weeks of training to be well-versed in professional radio and television broadcasting.
The Broadcasting Techniques course is designed to cater for both the theoretical and practical needs of broadcasting. The participants were taken through phonetics, reading and presentation skills, pronunciation of local names, media ethics, among others. This foundation course is expected to equip the trainees with the basic skills for good performance in broadcasting. Resource persons for the program were veteran broadcasters. The Corporate Affairs Manager of GBC, Mamle Asare, urged the participants to continually practice what they had been taught and upgrade their skills periodically.
When we open up courses, diploma courses, degree courses in our training school, please come back and train yourself more so that you could be the expert in whatever fields you find yourself.
The 32 graduates were presented with certificates. And now to a special report. Looking good is every woman's concern. However, in their quest to look good, some women adorn themselves with various accessories, some of which end up harming their bodies.
The high-heeled shoe is one such adornment which, according to some women, makes them look elegant. However, health experts say the frequent wearing of high heels causes more harm than good. In this special report, GBC24 looks at the health implications of wearing high-heeled shoes.
High-heeled shoe was initially worn by men in the 16th century, especially the wealthy and those in authority. In Europe, the wearing of high heels was viewed as a status symbol worn by persons who wielded considerable influence and power. With time, however, men stopped wearing heels as the shoe went through several design changes, making it more delicate and feminine in appearance. Today, the high heel has become a typical item of fashion for women. High heels come in various designs. Apart from those made of leather, local textile fabrics are now also being used to produce different designs of high-heeled shoes which match with indigenous fabrics. But why do some women love the heels so much?
Wearing high heels enhances your dressing and your footsteps.
Walking in high heels makes you feel good.
However, research in medical fields has raised many health issues concerning the wearing of high heels. Regular wearing of heels is found to cause shortened calves, muscle fatigue, and altered posture. Physiologically, medical experts say about 57% of the body's weight is carried on the back part of the feet, known as the heel, whereas 43% of the body weight is carried on the toes or the ball. However, when one wears the heel beyond 2 centimeters high, weight distribution of the body is altered. This causes the toe to bear much of the body's weight. Again, the altered posture puts excessive force on the inside of the knee. A medical doctor of the Christian Medical Center, Dr. Edwin Tando, explains why such a posture is not good for the body.
When you wear a heel above 4 centimeters, some say 3 centimeters, then you are elevating the heel and causing the ball, which is the feet, to bear almost all the weight. So some literature will define it that the higher the heel goes, the more your weight distribution is carried to the toe. So if all the weight is carried to the toe, what it means is that your knee goes forward, your hip also goes forward, and your butt go up. And it's been found out that that is not a very good position for your body.
From age 40 onwards, the damaging effects of high heels is more serious because of some physiological changes that occur in the body.
For our female friends, they physiologically have something going against their bones when they get around 40. The estrogen level goes down when they are entering menopause. It brings a medical condition we call osteoporosis, where the bone starts losing its calcium. All those changes in the bone predisposes them to a lot of problems with their bones already. So if you were wearing such high heels for a long period, you tend to have those problems showing early.
Another part of the body that suffers the harm of high heels are the calves. Regular wearing of heels causes the calf muscles to contract and adjust to the angle of the heels. As a result, the muscles may shorten and tighten up. When the shoe has a narrow toe box, there's a thickening of tissue between the toes. This causes very painful swellings on the feet known as bunions. Women are found to be more prone to developing bunions And this is linked to continuous wearing of tight and poorly fitting shoes, especially high heels. Repeated use of heels can also cause wear and tear disease called osteoarthritis. This is because with repeated stress of high heel on the feet, the cartilage weakens, the bones lose their protective covering and eventually may wrap together. This causes pain and inflammation of the joint. So do women have any idea about the health hazard of wearing high heels? Emanuela Elikplim Ahiaku seems to have a vague idea about the latent dangers inherent in the wearing of heels.
Yeah, it has some negative effects because your legs, it hurts the leg actually, and your toes or your heels or whatever.
To avoid the side effects of heels, it is advised that women use high heels occasionally. If possible, women should avoid heels beyond 2 centimeters high because the higher the heel, the greater the consequences. If you are addicted to heels, the question is, would you sacrifice comfort and safety for the sake of looking good? The choice is yours.
Definitely the choice is yours. But you like high heels.
Well, I'm not wearing one now, but I think it would take women a while to accept the fact that it's not good for us because it makes you look elegant, Conrad. Let's move on to other stories now. And in this next feature, the people of Seshwi-Kujina, a cocoa farming community in Seshwi-Yoso district, want a new bridge across a river to connect the town to farms and nearby towns.
The inhabitants, who are mostly farmers, say they are not able to send their farm produce to the market because the bad state of an existing bridge has cut them off.
Seshwi-Kujina is a cocoa farming community. It is within the Seshwi-Yoso district of the Western region. The bridge over the Benchima River, which was constructed in June 2008, has seen no renovation. It is currently in a deplorable state, making it difficult for vehicular movements. The bridge, which is made up of wood, has now become very weak, so motorists are cautious when crossing. People complain about the difficulties they encounter in transporting their produce to their homes and to the market. According to the assemblyman of the area, Mr. Isaac Opong, the wooden bridge had been mended several times, but it did not last. He therefore appealed to the authorities to replace the old weakened bridge with a new bridge.
Wooden bridges don't last long, and this very one is in a deplorable state. We are appealing with the government to come to our aid.
A driver, Kofi Okara, also expressed his view on the bridge.
The government should fix the road as well as the bridge for us.
A youth activist, Isaac Che Jibi, observed that governments appears to overlook Seshwi-Kujina in the development of the region.
Our chiefs have contacted the Roads and Highways Ministry and the DC on the issue without any positive response. We will advise ourselves in the coming days.
The Seshwi area is captured under the current government's Cocoa Roads Rehabilitation Program. Under this, feeder roads are being upgraded with bitumen to make them more motorable. It is not known whether the bridge across the Benchima River near Seshwi-Kujina obtains attention under the Cocoa Roads project.
We're back to Accra now. The wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Matilda Emisa Arthur, has reiterated her call for adults to teach the young ones to be disciplined and courteous. This, she says, would help the children to grow up to be responsible adults.
Mrs. Emisa Arthur made the call when she, together with the Ministry of Education, presented 23 desktop and laptop computers and books to the Laboni Senior High School. The gesture is in recognition of the school's show of discipline and orderliness over the years.
Mrs. Emisa Arthur observed the discipline and orderliness exhibited by the student of the Laboni Senior High School when she last visited the school to launch 3 books: The Right Things to Do, the Sun Life Guide to Rainwater Harvesting, and the Sun Life Guide to Energy Conservation. The books provide information on how to conserve energy and harvest rainwater, as well as how to get young people to cultivate good manners, among other things. At that ceremony, Mrs. Emisa Arthur made a promise.
I want two people to tell me what integrity is. And if we agree that those answers are right, I'll give those two people laptops. Headmistress, I promise on my honor that tomorrow by this time, you will get 3 laptops to give to them. For us coming here and witnessing how orderly, how organized everything is, and for all of us praising the headmistress, Honorable Minister of Education, Tertiary, can I please plead with you that try and look for 20 desktop computers and bring them to me, so I'll bring to the school. Clap for him. The deputy minister says he is going to match me and surprise me, because I said tomorrow by this time I'll bring the 3 laptops. Tomorrow by this time he will also bring the 20 desktops.
She kept her promise by presenting 20 tabletop computers and 3 laptop computers and books to the school. 3 students who were able to explain what integrity means were also rewarded. The headmistress of the school, Madam Kate Bannerman, was grateful for the gesture. The Labone Senior High School at Cantonment in Accra was founded in January 1947. The Labone Senior High School is noted for discipline and good academic performance.
A Nigerian delegation led by the paramount chief of the Nigerian Traditional Council, Ize H.N. Azudilike, has called on the Jamestown Traditional Council, the group which claims a common origin with the Dangbes, is in the country to strengthen family ties.
History has it that Nigeria is one of the places where the Gadangbe people settled during their migration from Israel. Later, some of them continued the journey through Benin and Togo before finally settling in Ghana. Today, certain names and cultural values of the Gadangbes in Ghana can be found among some people in Nigeria. Such similarities link the two groups to a common ancestry. The Igbo delegation called on the Jamestown Manche and the Traditional Council, where they conferred on how to strengthen existing ties. The two chiefs, the Jamestown Manche, Nikojo Ababio, and the paramount chief of the Nigerian Traditional Council, Eze H.N. Azadulike, agreed that Ghanaians and Nigerians are one people separated by boundaries. They thought this should not be allowed to destroy their relationship and identity. The Nigerian team pledged to support the development of Jamestown through bilateral trade and the sharing of expertise with their Ghanaian counterparts. The paramount chief of the Igbo community in Ghana, Eze Jeffrey Nwoye, advised the Nigerian enclave in Ghana to be law-abiding.
Nigerians in general are foreigners to Ghanaians. Most of our ancestors, either we migrate from Ghana or Ghana migrate from Nigeria. We are the same.
A delegation from Ghana will later pay a reciprocal visit to the Igbo Kingdom in Nigeria.
And back to a special report now. Funerals are meant to honor, respect, and remember the life of a person who has passed on. It is a time of mourning, and indeed some people therefore believe it should be a low-key ceremony. But in Ghana today, is that the case? Let's find out.
The good book tells us that there is a time and season for everything on this earth. A time to be born and a time to die. Death is an inevitable rite of passage, acknowledged all over the world as people honor the departure of their loved ones. In Ghana particularly, among the Akans, the passing away of a person is observed over a long period. The funeral is the main event that publicly acknowledges the fact that an individual has passed on. In years gone by, funerals have been organized in very simple ways, making the entire ceremony low-key. This, many believe, helped reduce cost. In recent times, though, a lot of concern has been raised about the showy nature of funerals. From the elaborate posters and billboards at strategic locations, the media announcements, the coffin, the food, music, and drinks that go with the occasion, the list is endless. Not to talk of the new craze, pallbearers. Funerals these days are anything but solemn. A lot of money goes into planning and organizing these funerals, and to many, it puts unnecessary pressure on an already grieving family. The competitive and lavish nature of Ghanaian funerals seem to be a burden to a lot of people. Old Tafo Achim is a predominantly farming community in the eastern region, and funerals in this town is at the heart of citizens. The chief of Old Tafo, Osaberima Edusei Piasa IV, and elders have therefore found ways to help streamline some of the excesses that go with holding funerals.
After a long period of observation, we realized that having a particular cloth for funeral celebrations was not the best. If, for instance, there are about 2 or more bereaved families in one household and each decides to use a particular cloth for the funeral ceremony, that will be a burden for members. Some buy these cloths with monies meant for paying children's school fees. Those who do not buy these cloths too are tagged and called names, making them feel inferior, so Nana and elders decided to ban it.
But that is just one of the measures. Funerals are held jointly every 2 weeks. Also, the funeral committee allocates one particular day to bereaved families, and so it is common to have more than 3 funerals going on at one funeral ground.
Time is of essence, and one cannot spend every weekend at a funeral, so we combine the funerals to save time. When it is combined, the cost incurred in hiring of chairs, bandsmen, etc. is shared.
Arguably, a good motivation for holding joint funerals. But how do the citizens feel about this?
Because of say,
having 4 or more funerals the same day at the same venue is good, because it's sick time.
The embarrassment of having a funeral poorly attended is prevented when it is combined with others, so it is good.
It is not our intention to mar someone's funeral, but we are just trying to cut down the excesses. So here in Achim Tafo, whether you are celebrating 1 week, 40 days, or 1 year passing away of a person, you are not allowed to play music or serve food.
Living in independent Ghana, one will think these restrictions are over the top. But considering the criticisms that characterize the showy nature of funerals, many feel that these measures have helped sanitize the system. The Oman Krado and elders had words of advice for Ghanaians.
We are pleading with Ghanaians not to turn funerals into a showy ceremony. What is important is the upkeep of children left behind, and also how to improve the life of the living.
Food takes a large chunk of funeral costs, so perhaps it will be better to cater for the visitors rather than the locals.
One cannot begrudge Ghanaians for revering the dead, but many are of the view that the dead should be given a decent burial and not an expensive one, because no matter what we do for the dead, he or she is returning to dust and his maker.
Well,
Funerals have indeed taken on a different twist, right?
and it seems to put a lot of pressure on the bereaved families. Well,
interesting, with the Azunto and all.
journey to the Yellow Krobo district of the Eastern region. Do stay.
Ghana, Bonsamon Peyi. My name is Amaseko Kofi and welcome to my journey on GTV and GBC24, your all news channel. The Klo Agogo Senior High School in the Yellow Krobo district of the Eastern region is in a deplorable state. The school is situated in a typical farming community and lacks basic social amenities. This makes life very difficult for the people. On my journey this week, we take our focus to the people of the living condition of Klo Agogo. Klo Agogo has a population of about 1,000. The community is a home to the Upper Manyakrobo Rural Bank and the Klo Agogo Polyclinic, which serves the surrounding communities. The community faces several challenges which makes life difficult. The lack of potable water is a major challenge here. The people solely depend on this borehole for water for their domestic use because there is no pipe-borne water in the area. The community also has no police station. Road network is in bad shape and this makes the commute very difficult. The community has about 7 basic schools and a senior high school, the Klo Agogo Senior High School. It was established in the year 1991 as an agri college. But today, the school also offers home economics, visual arts, business and general arts. The school currently has a population of about 470, with a female population of about 204 and male population of 266. However, the school faces several challenges. Home economics, agri science and visual arts students currently cannot take their practical studies because they do not have laboratories for practicals. Lack of infrastructure is another major challenge confronting the school. This situation forced the school authorities to convert some classroom blocks into dormitories to accommodate students in 2012. In June 2012, a sod was cut for the construction of an 18-unit classroom block which was expected to be completed in 8 months. But 3 years on, construction is still at the foundation level. Currently, students have classes under a wooden structure. On arrival at the school, our camera came across these students hunting down a snake that climbed the school block during class hours. The dining hall does not even have enough chairs and it is also not spacious enough to accommodate the students. Shelter Daute, head prefect of the school, bemoans the lack of an assembly hall.
Animals coming in here during class, because the walls are not tall, anybody can just enter. And then the canteen is not properly equipped. We don't have chairs. When we go there to eat, you have to stand. The library too, we don't have enough chairs. Since I came to Form 1, I've not been to the library for like the IT lab because they said the things are not fully equipped.
The school authorities are therefore appealing to the government and authorities to come to their aid.
The books in the library are also at stake. Old books are there, and I think the government has to come and help us. The school has no science lab. Students, we see them always from moving from one place to another in terms of going to do their practicals. We don't have enough places for them. If you look at the classrooms, see some, we've started a class for about 4 years, they've not even gone ahead to even go the room for us.
We need infrastructure. Since the inception of the school, we haven't got a school bus that will convey students to excursions and other practical experiences.
For both the teachers and students of Klo Agogo Senior High School, their hope is that their appeal will receive a quick response which improves the condition of teaching and learning in the school. The journey from the Eastern region back to Accra was not without hitches. In the Koforidua township, the vehicle which I was traveling was involved in an accident. A saloon car in front of our bus was wrongly indicating that he was turning to the left, but ending up making a swift turn to the left in the middle of the road. The other vehicles behind the saloon car could not control their speed and therefore bumped into the saloon car. The rear of the car was damaged. Well, for me, it was a close shave with nothing I had ever experienced before, but thank God we were all safe. That's it for my journey. Make sure you inspire in order not to expire. My name is Mosako Kofi. Thanks for your time.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now to what's happening in the world of business, and we begin with the ban on the importation of used refrigerators. It has been 2 years now since the government placed a ban on imported second-hand refrigerators into the country. However, second-hand refrigerators are still sold openly on the streets of Accra and many parts of the country. Dealers complain that the ban is affecting their sales. GBC24 was out on the streets of Accra to find out why 2 years after the ban on the imported second-hand fridges, they are still sold in the open market.
Just as it is with used cars, the business of second-hand refrigerators still continues, and many who cannot afford a brand new one head to the second-hand market to buy their refrigerators, since it is within their pockets range. Though second-hand refrigerators are said to be high in energy consumption, those who patronize them say it is a convenient way to acquire a refrigerator. Realizing the high rate of energy consumption by second-hand refrigerators, the Energy Commission launched a crusade dubbed Save a Watt campaign. The move is to conserve energy and ensure fair distribution of the commodity in the face of the energy crisis. The campaign was also introduced to reduce the effects of greenhouse gases on the environment, as these refrigerators are said to emit dangerous greenhouse gases called chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs. Research conducted by the Industrial Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, shows that there are over 2 million refrigerators in Ghanaian homes that consume up to 1,200 kilowatt hours of electricity per year. The average consumption in America and Europe is 467 and 500 kilowatt hours. To help correct this trend, the Energy Commission in September 2012 introduced a scheme to encourage consumers to turn in their used refrigerators for new ones at a discount. The objective was to gradually remove the second-hand refrigerators in the country. 2 years after the scheme, these second-hand refrigerators are still on the streets of Accra. The used refrigerators are always advertised at the Central Business District, Kwame Nkrumah Circle, and the Kaneshi First Light. GBC24 was in these areas to find out why some dealers still sell them despite the ban on their importation.
Yeah, the brand new Afra. What's the first and now the brand new Afra.
They mix it up with the brand new ones, and the prices of the brand new ones are very expensive because of the dollar rate.
Home use because of Emba. The man also no ball here, Tama, the ton on side.
According to the dealers, even though the ban is in place, the refrigerators still find their way into the country.
You get some of the fridges when you move around. We do not import them. We buy it from people in the country.
The Assistant Commissioner of Communications and Public Affairs of the Customs, Excise and Preventive Service, SEPS, at the Ghana Revenue Authority, Mr. Robert Mensah, said the ban is still in force and warned that the GRA will deal with anyone who imports these products into the country.
Customs is enforcing the law. We have some task forces, other controls at the harbour, including our risk management system, that should be able to alert us that some items are coming and these items are these used refrigerators. We also activate our controls and ensure that as soon as they come, they are confiscated.
He said they will soon hit the streets to clamp down on the business of second-hand refrigerators.
We also acknowledge the fact that others have found their way into the system and we have not been able to track them. And for that matter, we also rely on informants, of course, the work of the media and other agencies to let us know when they've seen such items to be able to go redeem the situation.
According to the traders, the ban is affecting their sales. Some of the traders say they plan to switch to other businesses to enable them to make ends meet.
2 months.
2 months now, I have now sold a refrigerator.
Mr. Robert Mensah urged Ghanaians to take advantage of the refrigerator exchange program to get a new refrigerator to save energy and the environment.
Well, that's all in the business news. We'll move on to international news right after this.
And now some international news. 3 people, 2 UN peacekeepers from Guinea and a civilian contractor have been killed in a rocket attack on a UN peacekeepers base in northern Mali. The peacekeeping mission in Mali was approved in 2014 after France led a military campaign to drive out Islamist militants from the north. The MINUSMA force comprises some 10,000 soldiers from dozens of different contributor countries, the majority from Mali's West African neighbors. The UN mission, criticized by some at the time of its approval because there is no peace deal to support, has suffered more casualties than any other in recent years, with 56 troops killed. Islamist militants are suspected of being behind the Saturday's attacks, in which 14 people were injured.
Well, Pope Francis is in Africa and he has celebrated Mass at the Catholic Center dedicated to Christians martyred for their faith in the 19th century on the center stage of his 3-country trip to Africa. The Mass marks the 50th anniversary of the martyrs' canonization. There were huge cheers as the Pope began the open-air ceremony near Kampala. It was where many of the 45 Anglican and Catholic martyrs were burned alive. The execution was ordered by a king worried about the spread of Christianity. Thousands of pilgrims have braved the rains to spend the night holding a vigil near the martyrs' centers. The Pope's message against corruption and the need to care for the poor is being welcomed by ordinary people in a place where some say corruption does much to damage the economy and little to help people out of poverty.
President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has said he is saddened by the downing of a Russian combat jet by Turkish forces on the Syrian border last Tuesday. Mr. Erdogan said he wished the incident had not happened and hoped it would not happen again. But he has, however, refused to apologize to Russia, accusing Moscow of playing with fire in its Syria operations. Turkey has warned its citizens against non-essential travel to Russia. The foreign ministry said visits should be avoided until the situation becomes clear, citing problems such as anti-Turkish demonstrations outside the country's embassy in Moscow. Russia has also suspended its visa-free arrangement with Turkey and is planning to introduce a wide range of economic sanctions.
In the U.S., 2 civilians and a police officer have died after a shootout at a family planning clinic in Colorado Springs, with a suspected gunman under arrest. 9 others were injured during the standoff at the Planned Parenthood clinic, which lasted 5 hours before the suspect surrendered. A number of people were trapped inside the building as shots were exchanged. Colorado Springs Police Department identified the suspect as Robert Louis Deere from North Carolina and the dead policeman as Garrett Swazi, a 44-year-old married man with 2 children. President Barack Obama said the U.S. has to do something about the easy accessibility of weapons of war on the streets to people who have no business wielding them. He had previously expressed his frustration after other fatal shootings about not being able to do more on gun control.
Macedonian soldiers are raising a fence on the country's southern border with Greece to try to manage the flow of migrants better. The International Organization for Migration, the IOM, says 105,000 migrants have passed through Macedonia after arriving in Greece this month. But many people are now stuck trying to enter Macedonia after Balkan countries imposed tougher entry conditions. Clashes have occurred in recent days, with more violence on Saturday. Next is sports. And now some sports news. Head coach of the Black Stars, Avram Grant, has interacted with local coaches of the Premier League. Avram Grant has committed to constantly liaise with local coaches to share ideas with them. When he was appointed as the head coach of the Black Stars, Avram Grant was also charged with helping to upgrade the standards of local coaches. His meeting with the local coaches was in fulfillment of that responsibility. Coaches from the local Premier League as well as others from the Ghana Football Association were present at the meeting. Avram Grant shared thoughts from his rich coaching experience. The local coaches also shared ideas among themselves. To the local coaches, the meeting was worthwhile.
Even though our terrain here is normally different from their terrain, we will also adjust it and then improvise.
There are things he said that he was talking of Chelsea where everything was there. When you come to our stars, everything is not there. And so when it happens like that as a coach, you need to do some addition and deductions. And I think it's going to help. It was good we were here. We've learned a lot.
The event, which was the first of its kind, also coincided with Avram Grant's first anniversary as head coach of the Black Stars. Next is the arts segment.
Many thanks for staying with us in the arts and entertainment segment today. He is one of Ghana's musical secrets. His pieces are exciting to listen to and his performances are simply a delight to watch. When we talk about the piano keyboard, his fingers do magic. His love for classical music has been exhibited in his works over the years. We had a chat with Alfred Patrick Adakwe, a classical musician, on Showbiz 24.
Why did you choose classical music to other genres?
You know, from my beginning, you realize I was a choir boy, exactly. But then I also grew in music to realize that classical music is serious music, you know, for deep thinkers.
Has it paid off?
For the past 5 years, the way generally classical music is going in the country, I think I am impressed. And I wouldn't say that it is too much paid off, but I wouldn't say it is too bad. One thing I realized is that in any kind of music you do, when you do it well, you would have your audience. You would also attract people who don't even like that kind of music to your music. But the mistake is when you don't do it well, you might be forced to think that people don't like what you are doing.
What message will you give up and coming classical musicians?
When you think so much about popularity and getting awards and all that, you will not be able to pay attention to the real things in music. So I would say that concentrate on the music.
What's up with the all black and white event?
It's a night of classical hymns. That's why I played hymns. Hymns are all classicals anyway. So a night of classical hymns, both foreign and local hymns. Yes, so on 29th, that's just this Sunday, 29th, and with St. John Methodist Junior Choir, a brilliant choir. Not just a good choir, but a brilliant choir. Yeah, and of course, Ghana Police Band will also be there to join us, sing hymns and all that. It will be engaging.
Where is the venue?
Osu Presby Hall.
Musician Patrick Adakwe there, ending the arts and entertainment segment. We'll bring you the weather report.
With technical support from the Ghana Meteorological Agency.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the weekly weather report. For the past 24 hours, Akachi recorded 8.2. Abetifi had 1.5. Achimda had 1.5. With Koforida recording 0.6. Salpond and Takrady had just a trace. For this forecast, the intertropical boundary is still below latitude 10, and as such, the north will still be slightly hazy and dry, but relatively cool tonight and tomorrow in the morning. Over the transition and the coastal belt and part of the forest belt, you expect mist and fog patches with reduced visibilities. Partly cloudy is expected over Greater Accra, part of Central Western and part of Ashanti region, with 20 to 30% chance of rain over these areas. In terms of temperatures, the north will record 19, the middle and the transition belt will have 22, 23, Greater Accra 26, those in secondary Takrady will record 24 degrees Celsius. By afternoon, all these conditions will rapidly change to slightly hazy and sunny over the north. Temperatures will be around 39. Over the middle sector, it will be partly cloudy and sunny. Temperatures will be 33, 34 over most areas, with partly cloudy over central and western region. Temperatures will be 32 degrees Celsius over these areas. In terms of rain for tomorrow, Sunday, the probability is still 20 to 30%, and the area of interest is still central, western part of Ashanti, and the coastal, but that's Greater Accra, Eastern Coast, has some percentage of rain tomorrow in the afternoon towards the evening hours. So this is how it's going to be from now till tomorrow. Up on our screen is the outlook for Monday. Thanks for watching the Winkle Weather Report only on GTV.
And that'll be all in News Hour tonight. Do have a good evening.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.